Welcome to the Epicurean and the Herbalist. And today, guess what we're talking about? Travel.
Yes.
We're going to start with the States. Favorite place to go in the United States? You go first.
Favorite place, United States.
I already know what you're going to say.
Oregon. Portland, Oregon, yes.
I knew it. She loves any part of Oregon.
I love Oregon.
That means green, it's wet, it's green.
It's very green and it's very pretty. They have botanical gardens. They have the waterfronts, the hotel. The atmosphere is just beautiful. The food.
I know. Well, listen, I will say I do love Oregon a lot. Like, seriously, I'm thinking about, like, maybe
purchasing.
Yeah, like, it's just the vibe is just good.
It's a good grandparent place too, for grandparents to be with their grandkids. But anyway,
I mean, any place is good for your kids. Listen, this is what I say about travel. When people say, "Can you travel with kids, or would you take your kid there?" And I'm like, if kids live there, then your kid can go there.
It's true.
I mean, it just makes sense.
Common sense.
Yeah, and I'm like, I like to take my kids places, like for them to experience things, travel, see the world outside of like their bubble, their box.
Right.
I think travel is probably the best educator that there is.
What did you like about Portland?
The drinks. Yeah.
That's one of the things.
I like the marijuana. I like the No, I do. I like the greenery. I do like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the vibe. The people there are just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of good, like, friend circles out there, like, just of good people, like, that you just typically want to hang. You know, there's, like, people where you're like, I want to hang with you, but like, not that much, like, after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, Like, no, they're, like, everybody's, like, vibe is super chill, like, good energy. Like, you want to be like, I can do this.
Right,
you know?
and the people are so active. That's what I love about it.
I mean, you're on a Roarers team. Who does that?
Well, yes, we are honorary members of, when we visit the Golden Dragons paddle team. Hello, shout out to the Golden Dragons. We paddle, like me and myself and my husband, and it's wonderful. And then, you know, the people, it's just different because to be a senior and to see people not sitting in some home just saying that this is it, that you're going to play this activity. I'm not against board games, but, you know, life goes on.
Yeah.
These people are active, and most of them were much more older and advanced, mature than we were, and they were paddling these boats out there. And the Golden Dragons are very active. They do things. They're mounting, going to the mountains. They participate. They're just not there in some, scenery.
I'll say this. I think you like that they have a zest for life.
They do. That's what it is. It's the zest. Yes.
And I find that. I mean, we love Vegas, but it can get kind of monotonous, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, well, unless you're in certain pockets that are like active,
right,
then it works. But it's more of a lifestyle out there. And
right,
people are typically just outside doing outside things all day long.
Right.
Oh, they have a really good taco place that's outside of it. I'll put the link.
They have a really good indoor restaurant with the steak and the lobster and then the oysters and the King's Tide. Yeah.
King's Tide.
Yes, at the Kipton.
Well, outside of King's Tide, right, outside of the Kipton, this is it. There's a taco stand out there, literally so good.
And I like it because they also serve fresh green juice every morning.
They do.
Yes, I
couldn't
believe that. That was awesome.
Yeah. My favorite place is New Mexico, Albuquerque, to be exact. So fun. Los Poblanos is a place that I love. It's kid friendly.
I'm going to excuse myself and she's going to talk.
There goes my kid. And he's not friendly right now because he's waking up from a nap. Okay, after a quick commercial break, children, we're back. So let's get back to my favorites. Albuquerque, New Mexico, love it. Love it for kids, love it for romance, like a quick getaway there. What did we do? We went hot air balloon. Is that what you call it? Loved that until you realize that you're just suspended in air, then it gets a little scary there. Sightseeing, beautiful vistas, like it's amazing. Artwork, all of the museums, if you love museums and art like we do, it's great for that. We stayed at Los Poblanos, which is it's an actual working farm, a lavender farm. Amazing food. The people were great. The products are great. I can't say enough about the place. I feel like it's just magical. And it just gives me good vibes. Like from the time I get off the plane, I just don't even want to come back. Like I'm like, I could totally live in Albuquerque, like super fun. And it's just beautiful. It's good for family if you want to take the kids. And, you know, again, I'm big on like giving your kids experiences, like travel experiences. So I think that's super important. And traveling with kids, because you typically travel with us, your kids. And so what things can ease the traveling with kids? Crayons, activities. And I just make like a little bag of like to-do things, like 3 or 4 things. Snacks, soup. Okay, I have a quick story time really quick. We were traveling to, I think it was to Portland.
Yeah, that was to Oregon.
Okay. And I just decided to like grab things that I know that she would like, which is suckers and like candy and just anything to make the kids be quiet. You know, just to make your kid happy, like chips, you're like, whatever, just live your life. Because I'm trying to live my life. Mm-hmm. And so we get on the plane and it's all great until we land. She turned to a little lunatic, like literally.
Why wouldn't you?
It's like anybody even said anything to her. They're like, oh, this little girl's so cute. She'd be like, wah! Like, it was insane. I was like, please don't talk to this child. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be fun. Like, I was cringing when people would talk to her, and she would wait for someone to actually like say hello, or you're such a cute little girl, or how did you fight? Just to like completely lose her mind.
Let me interject there. This was something that she wanted to do. Now, she has friends there, lots of friends in Oregon, but mother's advice, and she knows I'm a bit of a health food, a little bit of a nut on things sometimes. But she was like, Mom, we're on vacation. And she was very adamant about that. My granddaughter had a meltdown, not once, but over and over. And it took her to be around more friends with small children.
Yeah.
And I had told her the snacks that she needed to have with her, but of course she was in charge then because this is my daughter. Remember, she's raising me. So I was like, okay. She's like, no, she's going to have the lollipops. That's it. They were at the end, and I should say at their rope. But it wasn't my granddaughter's fault because she was just sugared out. And I told her, I said, no,
never
grapes, little rice cakes. And she ran across a friend of her, and the friend had that type of a care package.
Cheerios, any little things like that, they love it. And I learned the hard way. Ask me if she's had a sucker again. Ask me.
Yeah.
The answer is no. Like, sugar makes her crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know who she turns to. I mean, tequila kind of does that to me too.
Yeah, and sugar too.
Tequila. But moving on. Listen, so packing healthy snacks, that is a must.
Yes.
Activity bag, that's a must. I have this little travel system that turns like the seat into a bed, and I really loved it. Steven hated it because he's like breaking it down and like putting it together, but it was super convenient for your kid. Especially if, you know, they're not a lap child, and like who wants to keep a baby in their lap the whole entire time? Like nobody. I mean, I don't. And so, like, it turns the seat into, like, a little bit where they can, like, move around and, like, lay down or not lay down. But either way, it's super convenient. That works. What else do we got?
Mainly I was more interested in the activities because, you know, it's the transitions, and I always think about transitions. When children are traveling, they're restless, maybe sleepy, they don't know the people, not familiar places. So if you have activities, like I said, crayons, activity books, I'm not big on the iPads as much and the phones. I like them, but at the same time, I like them to be more visual. So I have a little game about name it when we're going places. I like to be able to name and picture, and this doesn't take anything, just your imagination. Looking at, you know, what is that? What do you think is in the pot? Can you tell me what? No, you know, it keeps your imagination and it calms the anxiety.
I mean, that's what grandmas are for.
Pretty much.
And I will say this, like, I'm super blessed. Like, my kids love hanging out with my parents. Like, they're like, Grandpa is coming. And actually, it's Nana and Papa are my parents, and Grandma and Grandpa are Steven's parents. Yes. And they get something like different from both. They absolutely love hanging out with both sets. Yeah. Like, she's the hippie, and she's gonna do like all kinds of mountain adventures and scavenger hunts and eating greens out the garden and all kinds of stuff like that. And my dad, he's just like a great time. He's like, let's build a fire. Always. And we have tents in the backyard. We have to learn how to build a fire. Yeah, like that's them. And then my other set of parents, like what can I say? Like Southern charm, sweet tea, like so lovable. Like my daughter loves neck bones and cornbread because of my mother-in-law, who's amazing. And then, I mean, they're both amazing. But two, like their grandpa, he's like just the life of the party. Like he's gonna tell a joke. He's always laughing, like making everybody else laugh. So I'm truly blessed on each side. Like when I say, hey, you're gonna see your grandparents, they're like, yes, and we're tired of you and we wanna be with them. So I think that's super important because not for nothing, like my grandma was not a kid's like grandma. She was like, when you go to her house, it's like you're at grandma's house. You're gonna watch what we watch and that's that. And I'm like, yeah, this is not working out for me.
And to my mother's defense, I would say, she's going, my mother was a businesswoman, but also she was the person
great business acumen.
Yeah, but she taught me everything that I knew about childcare. I was the youngest of 7. And not only that, my parents, they raised the 7 children, not with the help of other people, but just my mother and my father. They had very good practices, and from teaching me to be independent, I was on my own at 17, so that resilience came from my mother. And from that point, they had their own restaurant business, which Shay's Place. I named the place Shay Polly's, but that was their baby, and my family, all my brothers and sisters, we were all involved in that. And before that, no one even knew that. They had a club. Even before then, Club Quiet. So she raised 7 children, and I got that.
She was not about the grandkids at that time.
Because she did her job, and she did it very well.
And so back to my point is that it was a grandma's house. It was like, it wasn't like excitable. It was
a grandmother's house that you came to
see your grandma.
See your grandma, and you were going to leave.
After seeing your grandma. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, my kids are literally like, can we spend the night for a long time? I'm like, no, you have to come home to your mom and your dad, where you live. So
but I believe in variety. Everyone is.
And I think it's great, but I also stress the importance of, I love the fact that my kids love hanging out with the grandparents. I don't know, like a lot of kids, it's like, yo, I want to hang out with my grandparents.
And that time doesn't last a long time. For me, it's so precious because, to have a child, and whether that's my grandkids and my nieces and nephews, I've raised lots of children. Yeah. That time passes so quickly. By the time that they get up and they're, and your older children, which are my other boys, my grandchildren too, look at that. Look at the years.
The bigs.
Yeah,
we have the bigs and the littles.
Yes. Yeah. And those are my grandchildren too.
Yeah.
So, but my thing is that, they're cool. They're going to come and see you, check you out.
I used to like sit and we would watch movies and like I was like so cool, like the cool stepmom, like they love to hang out with me. And now I'm literally like just sitting in the room like, hey, do you want to hang out? Do you want to play? What's going on? What's going on in your world? What's going on TikTok? Can I get on your TikTok?
It's a love, but it's a different type of love.
Yeah, they're like, you're totally not cool. Go hang out with the littles. Like that's where I am.
So enjoy it.
Because they think that you're old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have to pep talk yourself and you're like, I'm not old.
Yes.
I'm fly and I'm fun.
Yeah.
Those are the affirmations I say to myself.
They work.
Whatever floats your boat, it works for me. So, anywho, thank you so much for joining us today. Yes. And we look forward to seeing you guys soon.
It's good to be back.
So good to have you.
And see you soon.